Welcome back. Now I'm going to walk you through the different panels we have here. Like these are the four main panels you are going to be working with here in Premiere Pro. Now, the first one here is the projects panel. You can see this one here. This one that has this blue border. You can see. So that means this panel is being selected. So if I click on this one, it has that. If I click on this, if I click on this, so that's how it works. So the first one I want to explain is this project panel. So if I click on this, you can see we have this blue border around this. That means this panel is being selected basically. So in the project panel, this is where you have your projects, the things you are working on, like your footage, your audio, your graphics, and things like that. This is where you have them. So if I import a file here or import a media here, this is where they're going to be kept basically. So under the projects panel, so under these we have different things as well, which we're going to explore later on. Now after that we have the source panel, which is this. All right, this source panel, which is this one here. So what this does is that this under this one of the things you can actually do here is that you can actually preview your footage or your clip here before bringing them to the timeline here. Like if I import a media here, I can click on it. It's going to display here. I can preview it to see the part I want to use. If I don't want to use the whole clip, I can just kind of just preview it in the source panel here to see the part I want to use basically, and I can bring that into my timeline to start editing. Now under this as well, we have some other things like effect controls. When I want to edit my audio, things like that, I can do that here as well, which we're going to explore much more later. But for now, just know that this is the project panel, which is also very useful, very useful. So when you want to add effects to your to your clips, you can come to your effects control panel. You can do stuff like animation and things here, in this panel basically. Now the next one after the source panel is here the timeline panel. All right, so the timeline panel is where you actually do the editing. Is where you cut your clips or your audio, graphics, whatever. You manipulate them basically. This is where you get all of that done. All right, in the timeline panel. So if I add a clip here, this is where I can actually start editing my project basically. So that's about that. So here we can do a lot of stuff, which I'm going to be doing in a moment. Now the next one is the program monitor, which is this one. The fourth one is the program monitor, which is this. Now under the program monitor, this is where you see your result, the actual result of what you are doing. Like if I'm editing a clip here or a footage here, I am going to see what the end result is going to look like here. Here's where I'm going to be seeing the actual results of what I'm doing in the timeline. You understand better by the time we start editing proper. Now these are the four main panels we have here in in Premiere Pro. Now having talked about that, the next thing is these menus we have at the top here are also important. Like we have the one for editing. I click on editing and I have this interface. If I click on color, you can see I have quite a different interface basically, which I can adjust and things like that. So we also have ones for effects, for audio, for graphics, for captions and things like that. You can see by clicking on by clicking on any of these menus, we have different interface for each of them. Like on graphics, you can see I have this graphics essential graphics panel here added to this. So I have essential graphics, which is this, and I have my program monitor, my timeline, my projects panel, and my source panel, source monitor, whatever. So that's how it works basically. And if I click on effects, I have a different one. If I click on, so yeah, I can actually start adding effects. Like you can search for any effects I want. We have presets, we have Lumetri presets, we have audio effect, audio transition, video effect, video transition, which we are going to be exploring later. Now editing is the basic one, which which is for editing, So that's how it actually works. So this is what you need to know about the interface in terms of the panels we have in Premiere Pro and the menus at the top bar here. We also have some other stuff here, like if I go to file, under files we have this. You can create a new project, which I showed you earlier. You can open a project. If you want to bring in a project from your system, from your PC or your computer, maybe you have a project which is a Premiere Pro file. You can just click on open, then it's going to take you to your computer where you can go to where you have the project saved, then bring it into Premiere Pro. So we have a lot of them here, which we're going to explore later, for saving, for closing project, for exporting, and all of that. So under edit, we can redo, we can undo, we can cut, copy, paste, things like that. And all of these have shortcut keys, which are essential. And shortcut keys are essential because they're going to make your work much more easier and faster. So we have clips as well. Under clips, we have different things like rename, mix up clip, edit clips, which you're going to explore all of these later. So we have sequence, which is also very important. All right, then markers and graphics, views, windows, help. So under Windows, let's say you have a panel you want to bring in here to the interface. You can just click on that and it's going to bring in the panel. For example, if I click on text, for example, now it brings this text panel. You can see I can do a lot of stuff here. When I start working with text, this is going to be very useful. You understand? So I'm just going to maybe click on click on this and click on close panel for now. So go back to editing. All right, so that's how it actually works. So that's that about the interface of Premiere Pro, the Premiere Pro interface. So now, having talked about the interface, we're going to move to the next step, in which we're going to start importing media into Premiere Pro, and we can now do some basic things here so that you can understand how each of these panels works properly. So that's what we're going to be exploring next. So see you there. Bye for now.